Welcome to the Utah Football Fans Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, go Utes.
So the portal is open. Thousands of guys have gone into the portal throughout the country. I guess before we give any thoughts on the what we think about the portal per se, maybe just refresh our minds on Utes who are, in fact, some who've coming back, those who are leaving for the NFL, then those who have entered the portal, and then we can give our thoughts about the portal generally.
Yeah.
But I guess the who we know, the big one is Cam Rising is coming back, as we've known for a while. We have Vaughn's coming back, secondary, which is great. It's going to matter. And then Damouni, linebacker, he's coming back, and then of course the other guys. So those are the big names. We don't know from Keithy yet. Now whether we'll know. So this portal window is open. I don't know if it goes 30 or 45 days. Someone will know. I can't remember. But then if he hasn't declared, I mean, there is another portal that opens up in the spring, and it could happen there. So we don't know about him yet. So anyway, those are guys that we know are staying that had some question. Now we had guys who are going into the NFL. Obviously, they didn't go to the portal. They're just leaving to go into the NFL, which is, Keaton Bills is gone. That's a loss. Vaki, obviously that's a big loss. Cole Bishop and Devon Vele all are declaring for the NFL.
There's one more.
Who am I missing?
Lauamea, which he didn't put out like an actual post on social media.
Was he a senior or was he a junior?
Well,
I can't remember offhand.
He was a junior. He accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl or something. So I think people are assuming that means he's going to the NFL, but he hasn't officially put it out like the other guys have. But he's just another one that seems like he might be doing that, going to the NFL.
Okay, so that's I being selfish, I wish they were all staying, obviously, those who could. Because we're going to miss Vaki and Bishop and Vele and Bills. I mean, gosh, dang.
Did any of those surprise you that they're doing NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable, but I'm actually kind of surprised with Vaki, to tell you.
Yay, the comments are working.
How do I get him to show? Oh, there we go.
There you go. Okay, hopefully if you're here live, then hopefully I just saw a comment pop up by Serenity and Jeff Slaymaker. So hopefully you can now comment. Sorry about that. Again, this is a new platform for us. This is our first time using it, so we're working out all the kinks. But okay, so yeah.
Let me just say this. To be honest, Vaki's a sophomore. I feel like he could use another year. I know he did a great job, but the NFL is a different animal. We all know it. Yeah. All big, all fast. It's just a different level, and I hope he's ready because there's no coming back.
Yeah, that was Vaki. Bishop, I'm super disappointed in losing anybody to the NFL, but I want them to go and have awesome careers. I would love to have Bishop for another year. I'd love to have these guys for another year, but Vaki really shocked me. That one really surprised me. I think because I was not expecting that one because he didn't do the senior day thing, so he wasn't really on the radar of that. Because like you said, he's only a sophomore.
I just feel like he could have used another year. I'm the expert here, so I don't know. That surprised me. Vele, he's a junior. we'll see. I think maybe we don't know his full talent. Maybe
everybody
like
else who declared as a junior.
Cole Bishop, I hope it works. The guy's a player. He just has the instinct. So, I mean, how do you ever know if one more year is helpful or not? You're always the risk of getting hurt. I mean, I'm sure they're getting advice from NFL scouts, talent agents, all that kind of stuff. I bet it's a tough decision. But Vaki, I don't know. That's the one probably of the guys that I'm probably most surprised about.
John W. in the chat, he's, saying Vaki probably got agent advice, which I think is true. I mean, you'd hope though that he'd listen, and of course all these conversations happen. I mean, Whit has all these conversations with these guys and helps them decide what is best for them and the timing of everything. But you do hope they're being smart and listening to the right people. Cause there's also people out there that just want to try and make some money, and the players want to make some money, but I would have I think he could have used another year, and we could love to have him for another year.
So let's just throw out some names who've entered the portal. On the one hand, when you hear transfer portal and people hit the transfer portal, it's not like everybody that hits the portal, you've lost all your superstars. I mean, it's easy to think that. I saw just a tally. I think it was today or yesterday. I can't remember, but somebody said, Utah has been hit hard with the portal. They've had like 12 guys or something like that. So on face value, you hear that and you go, freak. That's but if you actually look at the names and you realize that the majority of those leaving have had no impact on the team and possibly won't have any impact going forward. For instance, Noah Benny, he's a tight end sophomore. We have King. Someone else. I just think the writing's on the wall. So he's moving on. Broughton is leaving. That surprises me. I got to admit. Yeah. That's one of those that does surprise me. Mikey Matthews is the other one that surprised me a lot. Kind of aggravates me, to be honest with you, but I can talk about the portal in a second. But that kind of stuff, I don't know. Mac Howard, quarterback, freshman. I mean, he sees the writing on the wall. You've got Cam coming back. You've got Rose already in the system. You're going to have Wilson, and then they've also recruited another kid out of high school. So that would make some sense. Bryson Barnes. Let's talk Barnes. I understand that too, and I appreciate Barnes and what he did for the team. I mean, he's one of those guys that gave his all, maxed out his, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but his ability. I mean, he just went to the end. And so I understand that he sees this writing on the wall too. He's going to be third or fourth string guy. So go play. And I hope he has success. Here's the one thing I will say about Barnes is he's playing in the bowl game. And to me, that's classy. That's cool. I appreciate it. Unlike Johnson, when he kind of messed us up on the Colorado game. I'm not, I'm just being honest. I think he should have played the game. He could have played if he wanted to have played. He left us out there with a fifth string guy and we threw the ball 10 times. That was not cool. In this case, so if Barnes walks, who's going to be our QB? I mean, in a bowl game. So I respect the fact that Barnes is going to play and then he'll move on. And I wish him nothing but the best and success wherever he lands. So I do appreciate that. Who else is Fabian Marks is a cornerback. He's going.
Who's transferring?
Kay Cope.
Yes.
Wide receiver. He's a sophomore.
That one surprised me too. So him and Mikey Matthews, the receivers.
Marks. He played mainly on special teams.
Marks Lawler is another cornerback.
Medlock,
linebacker,
which is a redshirt freshman. Jaden Pearson, a safety sophomore. He's going to Utah State, so he'll get play time. I mean, Hayden Erickson, a tight end sophomore. I don't even know him. And Owen Chambliss, linebacker freshman.
Yeah, the funny thing is looking at some of these names and seeing that they were like redshirt freshmen. Most of the time, we wouldn't have seen them play. You know what I mean? But based on Utah's year and that we had so many injuries, we were going to our third, fourth string. We actually did have a bunch of these guys get play time. Whereas if you have your first string, second string guys playing all year long, you're not going to see a redshirt freshman play. So I think maybe that's what's contributing a little bit to this kind of panic mode of that you're hearing all these names transfer. These are guys who played some playtime for us this year. I don't know. That's kind of just sparking to me right now that I'm thinking, because yeah, seeing like when you see it all listed out, it panics me.
I wouldn't panic. So Amy Wankanobie, are any of the guys leaving for the NFL going to play in the bowl game? That's a good question. I don't know the absolute answer on that, but my feeling is that it's a no. I don't think they play.
I don't know.
Does anyone know for sure? I mean, I'm trying to think of that through, but I don't think they are. I don't think they want to take the risk.
It seems like, yeah, it seems like the only person who has absolutely said that he's playing in the bowl game is Barnes.
Yeah, but he's not. The question is, the guy's going to the NFL.
Right, but I'm saying, like, out of everybody who's declared for the draft or transferred, it seems like Barnes is the only one that has said he's absolutely playing in the bowl game. And it's interesting, I think, and we'll talk about bowl game in a minute, but
I don't think anyone's going to.
Yeah. Transfer portal.
Yeah, let's talk transfer portal. I'm kind of curious what other people think about it. So go ahead, Bryn. What do you think?
Yeah, let us know how you feel about it. I've listened to a bunch of national guys talking about it and getting all sorts of different opinions. And if you haven't listened to Joel Klatt from last week, listen to his analysis, because we always talk about him all the time. I always like his takes, but I like the way he talked about is he's all for the transfer portal. He thinks it can be super beneficial, but too much of a good thing can be bad, which is kind of, I think, where we're at. Like, the way it's set up right now, the timing of it is awful because you're having these guys transfer in December before the bowl games even happen. At the same time, you're trying to sign high school kids because the signing day is in February or whatever. So you've got all of that going on all at the same time, which is a huge mess. Then you can transfer now 3 times, I think, like 3 times in your.
No, I don't think that's right.
It's 3 times because it's once for just any reason, whatever.
Right.
You can transfer as a graduate.
Grad transfer, true.
And then you can apply for like this. Oh, what did he call it? Now I can't remember what it's called.
Well, it's like injury hardship stuff.
Hardship waiver. That's what it is.
It's waivers.
Which I think a lot of times most of those just get passed at this point. So it changed in 2021 is now basically you can transfer 3 times.
You could do it, but it's not. There's just one discretionary, meaning you could transfer at any time rule. It's the one you could transfer.
Yeah, but see, now we've got guys like a bunch of the big name quarterbacks this year that are entering the transfer portal that will now be transferring to a second school. Like it's gotten so out of control.
You're a grad transfer. You graduated. So that's not everybody. A lot of guys leave. So I'm just saying, yeah, that's true. But that is a unique situation. Not most guys don't ever get there and want to do it at that point.
Well, it's changing though, and it's kind of going more that direction that guys are staying in college longer now that they can make money, as we've seen. So I feel like they're going to have more of those grad type transfers. It's just, again, transfer. It's not that transferring itself is the bad part. I just think there needs to be some parameters on this because it's gotten out of control.
I hate the portal. I hate the whole system, the portal combined with the NIL. But let me just clarify that. First of all, the NCAA is crap, and we all know it. And they had a chance. They saw it coming, and the NCAA did nothing to, work out some sort of system that was fair for the players and fair for the schools and for college football. But what we had, in my view anyway, just a number of years ago, the NCAA controlled everything, and everybody was just beholden to them. What has happened now that it's shifted, the pendulum has shifted completely the other way. Now it's a free-for-all. Everyone's mercenaries. They can go do whatever they want. Look, I just think if it isn't adjusted and that there's some parameters made that is beneficial to players and to college football, the schools, the leagues, then I feel like the game that we love is going to be gone. It can't continue like this because think about it. Say you recruit somebody as a coach for a couple of years, you train the guy, and then your collective pays him a whole bunch of money for a couple of years, and then just on a whim, the coach yells at him. He's not playing every snap of every game, gets ticked off, or someone from a school comes along and says, hey, man, we got a bigger bag. We're going to give it to you, so come and join us. And they move on. That stuff is going to ruin the game to me. It's the other thing is, and I've thought about this, is why, under the current system, why would you recruit? And I think we'll get there if things aren't changed. Why recruit high school kids? Because now this would be different with some of the big name schools. But think about it. You go get a kid in high school, you bring him into your program, and say you're a mid-level or just kind of an upper mid-level type of program. You develop this kid, and then a bigger school comes along, they take him. So why go down that road? Just stick to the portal kind of stuff, because those are guys who've already been playing. I'm just saying it could be a detriment to high school players as well. There needs to be some guardrails. As far as the portal goes, I think, this is me speaking. I think it should be, if you transfer, you got to sit out a year. Go back to that. It would change it all. The loyalty of schools. See, part of the fun of college ball, and tell me, the people in the chat, what do you think, Brent? Part of the beauty of college ball, and I'm older than probably a lot of you, is that there's not only the regional battles that you get in with teams and rivalries, but the school itself, camaraderie within the school. You become part of that school. That's unique to college ball. And you go to this school, you go to that school, you're just part of it, and you grow with it as a player. Now that's all gone. Everyone's a mercenary. No one is loyal to the university. They can just move on at any time. It's like, so a guy comes in, for instance, Broughton, say you've been cheering for Broughton, you got his jersey, all this stuff, and he decides just to leave. None of these guys have any loyalty to the university, to the coaches. It's all about them in the bag. Now, I understand it. I get it. I'm just saying there should be some sort of rules. I just miss the loyalty to the schools and the rivalries and all of that kind of stuff. And if it continues down this road, I just see college football it will be gone as we know it. And I'm not happy about it at all.
Well, I mean, you've touched on
1,000 things. There you go.
On a lot of things, but like you're talking about the player development, which I think is a big piece of it, because why does a coach want to invest time and effort into a player? Because you don't know if they're going to be around, and to learn your system and things like that. Like, so is it going to change the way coaches work with these players and mentor? Because like you kind of said, why do they want to put forth all of this effort into these guys if in a year they're just going to leave? And there is something to be said about somebody staying in a system for a few years and learning it. I mean, we've talked about it a million times. We're all so excited that Cam is coming back for his experience, but it's not just experience playing, it's experience in the Utah system. He knows the coaching staff. He knows the way Witt works. He knows the way Ludwig works. And yeah, there's been very successful transfer stories. I mean, look, all the guys that were in the Heisman race, except Harrison, you've Penix, Daniels, Nix. They're all transfers. I get it. There are the success stories that do happen. But the fact that now it's just like at the end of the season, you've got 30 plus guys every year that want to leave your team. And where are all these guys? Yeah, like where are they all going to go when you have this many people in the transfer portal at the same time? Like you said, how can you deal with recruiting high schoolers at the same time trying to find people in the transfer portal? It's too much on the coaching staff, on all of this stuff. Like it's become unmanageable.
It's unsustainable. Look, I've listened. I'm not saying I'm all for the NIL, and I'm all for players having autonomy to some level, but there just needs to be balance. For instance, Roberto, the school makes millions, and for the longest time, the players didn't. Absolutely. That's correct. That's what I was talking about. Forever, the NCAA made all the cash off the back of the players. So I'm all for the players getting the money. What I'm saying is the pendulum has gone so far to where we're at right now is it's too extreme. Just ask yourself, if this was the way to do things, then why aren't the professional leagues doing what is going on in college ball? Because you know why? They know it's unsustainable and it won't work. So at some point, there's got to be limits and rules. The other thing, final thing I'll say is this. As a donor, see everything right now, and still the NCAA doesn't pay anybody. People get paid as a result of collectives.
Right.
Why? See, this is part of the problem, I think, for at least a number of schools. There are some schools that just have so much money, they can lose money, and who cares? Not every school is like that. Why would you, as a donor, want to put a bunch of money into this collective to give it to some guy that has no loyalty to your school or to your program or to the future? So I'm going to give, okay, I like this guy. I'm going to put this money into the collective and I want it to go to this dude. $1 million. So I give him the $1 million. He receives the training. He's coached up, Next year, he walks and gets another $1 million or $2 million from somebody else. It's like my investment was short term and for 1 year. And what happens if the guy was hurt? Just a bunch of ramifications. There just has to be some rules for everybody that's good for everybody. Yeah, the toothpaste is not getting put back into the bottle. That's long gone, but we better slow this thing down. Or, hey, people, I'm worried that college ball, as we know it, is going to be a thing of the past, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's just unsustainable. Again, I am not against the players getting paid. I'm not against the collectives doing the cool stuff that they're doing in order to bring talent in. I just feel like like Carol Elvira said, it's going to implode. It's going to And I feel like we're teetering right on the cusp of it just becoming an implosion, because this year, like every year you see more players getting in the transfer portal. And now with the more NIL money and all the collectives everywhere, it's just getting messier and messier and dicier, and players are making more money. And so then that causes other problems. Like it's not sustainable. And I did see on Twitter right before we went live, it seems like the Crimson Collective is teasing an announcement on Tuesday. I don't know what it is.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
I have no idea. Last time they kind of teased something, it was the trucks. So look for that on Tuesday. What comes from the collective. Again, the stuff they're doing is great, and I'm glad we have that to keep up, because you got to keep up nationally with the other collectives that are going on. But it's just messy. It's too messy. I hope that somebody can figure it out. That's the problem, is the NCAA is, as we know, basically useless. So I don't know where it's going to come from.
I know the new president has laid out some ideas and some rules, some of which I've read. I mean, on the off season and stuff, we can talk more about some of that, and as some of these things play out. I mean, let's face it, the realignment and all that kind of stuff, that isn't even close to being over. So we're going to see a lot of things, but that's where we are right now. And I'm just kind of worried about it. So anyway, should we move on?
Yeah, Guberdoo, I agree with you. I can't imagine having to keep up with all of that right now. And you're trying to prep for a bowl game, and you're doing, it's, again, unsustainable.
I watched a coach today, an ex-coach, but is well connected. He hates the portal as it is, because and he knows two coaches he referenced, and he didn't say their names because they're still employed, and they both find it really difficult to coach right now.
Yeah,
because you say the wrong thing or do something the guy doesn't like, he just packs his bags and leaves. It's like we're walking on eggshells all the time, and it's just not as fun as it used to be. And that's not the way it should be. I mean, that's just, the imbalance isn't good. So anyway, enough of that probably.